Can we get someone down here from Labor and Delivery? We have a 35-weeker. Her water broke.
These people don't know what they're doing and I'm gonna die.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is December Rain. I'm glad I am in front of the camera with no baby in me. It feels so much better. I'm not out of breath. I'm not sweating. I'm not gonna sound like I'm about to start crying because I'm out of breath. This is nice. So today I'm gonna be telling my labor and delivery story. So let's get to it. I'll also be introducing you guys to him at the end of the video. Although you kind of saw a glimpse of him in our Christmas video, but why not? I think one of the factors that caused me to end up having him 5 weeks early was on Thanksgiving Day. I woke up at 5 a.m. that morning and I cooked and cleaned until 5 p.m. Like I, on my own, cooked an entire Thanksgiving dinner, which probably, looking back, probably wasn't the best idea, but I wanted to see if I can do it and I snapped. At the end of the day, I was tired. Like I went to bed, I slept good, but I was really sore and tired. I woke up on Black Friday and my contractions were they still weren't regular yet, but they were like uncomfortable. They started to get pretty regular by the end of the day. I was using the app to check them and it was like, get ready for the hospital, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I felt something come out, like a tiny gush, not like a but like a, ooh, something's going on down there. So I went and checked, and I thought, because I did think my water broke, even though it wasn't like a big gush, but I was actually bleeding. I drove myself to the hospital because that's just, if I'm in pain, I'm gonna get up and go and take care of things myself. I walked in and talked to the lady at the desk. I was like, I'm 35 weeks. I thought my water broke, but it was blood. She was like,
Can we get someone down here from Labor and Delivery? We have a 35-weeker, her water broke.
sweetie, that's not what I said. I said, I'm bleeding, my water did not break. And I don't know why, up until like the nurses and everybody were still saying, yo, you thought your water broke? Like, are you guys deaf? I said, my water did not break. I'm bleeding. You guys saw the blood. They went up there and I expected them to put me in a triage room. They put me in a labor and delivery room and I'm like, what a waste. Got checked. I was 2 centimeters. They ordered an ultrasound to check my amniotic fluid level. Once they did that, they also were monitoring my contractions, which were kind of regular. The doctor who was on call is actually the doctor who delivered Lauren, my first baby. Didn't care for him the first time. I didn't mind him this time. I feel like once he actually saw that I was uncomfortable, he was nice, but he's kind of like he's really sassy, so that's just his personality. They did check my amniotic fluid level. I was at a 9 out of 25, which they say is average, but that does not sound very average to me. But the doctors know what they're talking about, I guess. So he had me also walk around on a pad just to make sure that I was leaking, because even though that was average, he said it's like a low average. That hurt so bad because it didn't feel like labor pressure, but I had so much pressure in between my legs that I couldn't sit up, like sit right on my butt or walk, because it felt like there was a ball there just like wanting to come out. I know that sounds like I need to push, but trust me, I know after 4 kids what it feels like to have to push, and that wasn't it. It was just a pain that I could not explain. So he had me do that for 30 minutes. There was no fluid coming out, but there was blood on the pad when I was done walking. He said, we'll monitor you and see what happens. I believe I went from a 2 to a 3 while he was on call. He had them call the OBGYN that was specifically for early labor and delivery, just to be, aware that I was there, maybe in labor or not. I tried to go to sleep. They gave me Procardia. They couldn't give me any more steroid shots because I had some a week or 2 before while I was in the hospital with him. That morning I woke up, I was still having contractions, still a little bleeding. By then, the doctor that I wanted was the on-call doctor. Basically, she was the doctor I wanted. She was the on-call doctor. She was watching me and she was basically saying that you know, your water didn't break, you're contracting, yes, but if they stop, you'll go home. Jeremy got there, so I wasn't alone. There was a whole lot of nothing going on at that point. Like, I was just watching Friends on TBS. It was getting really like annoying being there, so you know, me and Jeremy were like, you know, you can go home, nothing's really happening. When I had the ultrasound on Black Friday, the 27th, they did say that he was head down and he looked good. I was feeling, hey, sorry. Between 6:30 and 7 o'clock on the 28th, I started feeling this weird feeling. It was him kicking, but when he kicked, it was like a popping pain. Like, not like when people are like, when my water broke, I heard a pop. No, it was just like I couldn't hear it, but that's what it felt like was happening down there. When I asked him to come check me, my doctor and 4 other nurses came into the room to check me, and I'm like, what do you need all these people up in here for a cervix check? But whatever. So she checked me and she was like, you're 6 centimeters. Oh my gosh, I'm really in labor. Like, that's when it hit me that like something was really happening, but that's when it hit anybody that I was in labor or anything was happening, because the whole day they were saying if my contraction stopped, then I would go home. She was like, yes, you're 6 centimeters. Your water bag is bulging and I feel feet. I'm like, yeah, when I did the ultrasound, she couldn't find his feet. So I'm thinking his feet are like he's curled in half and like his feet are by his face. She was like, no, his feet are down first. Like, he had flipped in those 24 hours. He was like, yeah, so we need to do a C-section. I'm waiting for the second opinion of all the other people in the room. They're like, okay, and start running around the room, and I'm like, there's no other option. She said because my water bag was bulging, that it was a lot more serious because I was 6 centimeters. If my water breaks, I could go to 10 that fast, especially having had other children. I haven't had a C-section. I have 4 kids. They all came out natural. I'm like, do I have time to call dad? The nurse is like,
call him now.
I called Jeremy. I'm like, you need to come on now. They're gonna do a C-section. He was like, he's coming today.
Bitch, are you dumb? Pardon me? Are you dumb?
They're gonna do a C-section and he'll be here tomorrow. Yes, duh. I called my mom at that point because I was like irritated with him. I was scared because I was about to have surgery. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, they said I have to have a C-section right now. She's like, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. I had to. In my head, I'm like, that don't have nothing to do with me. I was so scared. Jeremy did not get there in time. They were like, if he gets here, we'll bring him back to the recovery room. Like, literally from the time that they started, like, told me to the time that he was here was like 30 minutes. It felt like that was a really fast C-section. So they wheeled me into the room. This whole experience was so scary, and I was by myself. So they wheeled me to the operating room. It was bright white, like something, you know, you see like movies where people are scared and they're having surgery in the room. It's just like a flash of white. That's not a dramatization. That's real life. I had like the anesthesiologist. He was talking me through it. And they're like, okay, we're gonna do your epidural. And I'm like, that's it? Like, just the epidural? Sorry, I keep saying like, I've had epidurals in the past that didn't work all the way, that I got too late. I'm like, there's no way epidural is going to be strong enough. All logic went out of my head. Like, people have had C-sections for years. My doctor was the doctor I wanted. I should have trusted her. Like, I'm thinking, these people don't know what they're doing and I'm going to die. I thought they were going to give me like a mask that like made me whatever. So they gave me the epidural. I'm asking the anesthesiologist everything I could think to ask him. It's gonna hurt? He's like, you're gonna feel pressure, but it's not gonna hurt. We're gonna make sure that you can't feel anything, but you're gonna feel us touching you, but you're not gonna feel any pain. How the hell am I gonna feel you touching me but not cut me? So as soon as he did the epidural, I felt my legs just kind of, I'm like, I've never had an epidural work that fast. But I felt my legs like start to fall asleep. They started laying me down on the table. I'm like, it's still not working. I don't know why I was acting so stupid. I was trying to wiggle my toes so they would know. I'm like, maybe if I wiggle my toes, they'll give me more medicine because they'll know that I'm not numb, y'all. I'm laying there freaking out like, when are they gonna start? This is scary. And then I was talking to the anesthesiologist and I was about to start crying just because I was so in my head and I was alone. And I was like, can you hold my hand? He was like, sure, I'm right here. He was so nice. I couldn't have done any of that without him. He still had to do his little work on the computer, but the whole time he was working on the computer in the operating room, he was holding my hand really tight. He was talking to me. He was telling me what was going on. And he was like, see, you didn't feel that, did you? And I'm like, they started? That let me know, like I relaxed after that because I realized that I can't feel the pain and I'm okay. I did feel the pressure. It kind of felt like, if you have kids, you know they love, like, they think your belly's a trampoline. It felt like Luna was just, like, using my belly as a trampoline, what she had did my whole pregnancy. I didn't feel like a strong pressure of them coming out the whole time. I felt pressure. And they were like, okay, it's a boy. Like, I heard all that, and I'm like, oh. And then I heard him start crying. I was just like thanking everybody in the room because it was so fast and not painful at all. And the anesthesiologist was like right there by my side. It was so nice. I'm like, wow, that was easy.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
I have to give it up for moms who have C-sections because I was always ignorant in the past. I'm like, that's the easy way. People who have C-sections, they don't have to do any real work. I'm so sorry for being ignorant like that because that pain, that recovery pain, I would rather go through all 4 of my daughter's labors all together at once than deal with the recovery that I'm still dealing with 6 weeks later. That is hard. C-section is hard. So I guess it's time to introduce you guys. Today is January 5th. He is over a month old. He turned a month on December 28th. And here is, oh, he's so pink. Here is London Remy. He doesn't like sleep. He doesn't like to lay on his own. He doesn't really care for other people holding him. He's not a hard baby if you don't like sleep. He's very squirmy. Even for a preemie, he will kick out of any blanket or swaddle, Velcro included, that you put him in. As you can see, I'm trying to hold him and talk about him, but he won't even stay still.
Show me your tits.
He did have a 2-week NICU stay. I do have that video that I'm working on right now about his NICU stay. It was really hard, but I'm lucky that it was only 2 weeks. A lot of people are in there for months. That's all for our labor and delivery story. He is trying to find my boob right now. So we're going to go. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and share this video if you enjoyed it. I will be posting a lot more frequently in the new year. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.